In her 4 short years of life, Avery Devereux of Royal Oak, Michigan, has had more challenges than many people have in a lifetime. Looking at her today, you'd never know she's endured 21 surgeries. But there was a time when Avery's parents, Ann and John Devereux, weren't sure if their baby girl would survive. With just 2 weeks left to go in Ann's pregnancy, they were shocked to learn that Avery had a cyst on her brain almost the size of a tennis ball.
They were giving us different scenarios and didn't really have any concrete answers.
Avery was delivered by C-section at a local suburban hospital and was quickly taken into NICU. Ann and John waited anxiously for news about their baby girl.
Ophthalmologist came in and said that they wanted to talk to us about Avery, and we thought they were in the wrong room at first. We said, no, we're waiting for a neurosurgeon. Avery has a fluid cyst in her brain. And they said, well, no.
They just gave us a pretty basic explanation that she wasn't passing her newborn eye test. I was just so shocked and could only think, my baby's blind and she has a brain issue.
It was kind of like a sucker punch. It was almost like kind of starting over again.
Avery was diagnosed with Peters anomaly, a rare genetic disorder that, in Avery's case, caused scarring of the corneas, pupils, and irises, as well as severe glaucoma. The family was referred to Dr. John D. Rorty, Chief of Ophthalmology at the Children's Hospital of Michigan.
He agreed to see us after hours because he knew how worried and anxious we were. I felt immediately comfortable with him and knew that we were in the right hands.
When she was born, I believe all she could do is see shadows and lights on, lights off. No formed vision at all. If we did not do anything for the eyes surgically, she would have been left probably with light perception vision at best, and most likely because of the pressure or glaucoma in the eye, she would have been totally blind.
Dr. Rorty worked in collaboration with Dr. Stephen P. Dunn, ophthalmologist and cornea specialist on staff at the Children's Hospital of Michigan, to come up with a surgical plan to improve Avery's eyesight. In her first operation at 7 weeks old, Dr. Rorty relieved the pressure in her eyes from the glaucoma, and Dr. Dunn performed a corneal transplant.
What we wanted to do is establish a clear visual pathway so light would not be blocked by the scar tissue, but would be able to pass on through to the back of the eye, to the retina.
Dr. Rorty and Dr. Dunn definitely made the whole process, if it's possible, easier because they were so confident. They had seen this before. A lot of doctors didn't have experience with Peters anomaly. So the fact that we had 2 doctors in Michigan that were specialists made us feel very lucky.
While little Avery was receiving treatment for her vision by the experts at the Children's Hospital of Michigan, she also had surgery to remove the fluid from her brain cyst by a surgeon at another hospital. Unfortunately, complications arose, and Avery developed bacterial meningitis.
We knew that she needed to be seen by pediatric specialists who knew how to deal with a small child. So we took her right to Children's Hospital. We never looked back.
The Devereux met with Dr. Sandeep Sood, neurosurgeon on staff at the Children's Hospital of Michigan.
Avery's meningitis and her previous brain surgeries just terrified us. Dr. Sood was very reassuring.
Bacterial meningitis had left her with scarring of the channel which lets the fluid out from the center of the brain, as a result of which she had developed progressive hydrocephalus. Hydrocephalus is a condition in which the fluid which is made within the center of the brain, instead of being able to flow out and drain normally, is obstructed. And if the pressure goes up very high, it can press on the brain to the point that the child can become comatose and eventually die.
Dr. Sood and his team performed multiple surgeries, including placing a shunt inside Avery's brain to drain the built-up fluid. And through it all, little Avery has kept on toughing it out, day by day. Avery is now 4 years old and has had 15 eye surgeries and 6 brain surgeries.
Good job. Avery's brain today is considered stable, but She does have some residual issues from everything that's happened, and that includes developmental delays and mild cerebral palsy. But I think she's doing great for what she's been through.
As far as Avery's eyesight, she has what's called functional vision, which means with her glasses on, she can move around comfortably in familiar places and can see objects that are very close to her. In unfamiliar places, she walks with a cane.
She certainly has good enough vision where I think with a visual aid, she'll be able to go to school, she'll be able to read, she'll be able to use a computer.
Stories from your heart.
Where's your heart?
Where's your heart?
Long term for Avery, we have to watch her very carefully. However, she's been stable now for quite a while, and my hope is that she'll maintain her good functional sight and mobility sight. She is a tough kid who's cooperative and has an amazing capacity to play and not worry about things. And I think a lot of that comes from the support from her family.
Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.
Our experience at Children's has been phenomenal. You feel like they're friends, and they have seen cases like Avery time and time again. They understand that this is a really, really hard thing to go through.
What I've been most happy working with Dr. Rorty and Dr. Dunn and Dr. Sood is the fact that I do completely trust them, and I don't think that you can really go through these kinds of medical issues on a long-term basis if you don't have complete trust in your doctors.